Hello, everyone. Ben Bryce here on Thursday, March 21st, to give you your Midday Mayhem. Today, I'm joined with the awesome Ryan Ettner. So, Ryan, what are we seeing out there today?
We saw overnight trade quite a bit higher in grains. We are getting closer to the acreage report. We also saw a little bit of buying right on the opening here this morning. We are now just a week away from the acreage report. Once you get within that week time frame, you will start to see a little bit of pre-buying, maybe even some additional fund short covering. They're still short 75% of record in beans and 75% of record in corn and 90% of record in beans. So they have every reason to cover a few shorts in front of the acreage report as well. So we may have seen that this morning.
Okay, so you're really looking at this being more of a positioning move, because yesterday after the closing, yesterday we got the Fed coming in saying they're not going to change rates, maybe 3 in the future this year, we'll see. But it seemed like right after that, the market caught a bid, the really grains, and then that continued in the overnight. So other than that story, I mean, we're setting back right now throughout the day session. I mean, is there, outside of that, I mean, is there really anything fundamentally that you're seeing out there in the grains that would change things?
The bean exports, I do believe trade may have expected a little bit better bean exports. They actually came in close to in line with the overall trade expectations, but I think traders were possibly looking for a better number than what we got this
year. Yeah, because last week, if you remember, those the weekly exports were really abysmal. I think they were the worst on the year, and you maybe thought a little bit of a rebound to kind of counterbalance that. We just kind of saw an on pace kind of put us back in line, but nothing to recoup what we didn't see last week.
Yeah.
All right. And then, really we're heading into the end of the month. Next week, a shortened week. We got a lot of stuff coming up for that report. So, I mean, with guys in the field right now, or even cattle feeders, I mean, are you looking at anything right now going into the end of this month? Are you telling them to look at certain things, options or strategies to protect themselves?
Yes, definitely for the cattle feeders. And we'll go back to saying the funds, because you mentioned that month. That's another factor. We have acreage. We have upcoming, as soon as we get past acres, we'll be talking weather. And you have the end of the month. There's actually 3 reasons why there should be some short covering. So in front of all that, or pre-buying the acreage, I would say both feeders, guys who are feeding cattle, should get it done quicker rather than later. Let's have the upside coverage in the grains covered before we get to the acreage report. And also for anyone who's made any cash sales in corn or beans, let's get reownerships done on the exact same mindset.
Because something I was looking at last night, because beans, May beans are up there at $12.26. Yesterday during the day session, they were down $11.83. I mean, you were almost over 40 cents off your lows in a matter of less than 12 hours. So while these markets are low, your grain prices are low and it is hard to look at them. I mean, it can come back pretty quick.
Yes,
I mean, just in a matter of a few hours, you can be, well off your lows. So keep that in mind with how quick these markets are moving. If you're using futures, you got to be careful with where you're running your stops and consider other strategies out there that suit your needs.
Yeah.
So in the livestock right now, focusing on that, cattle and pigs, I mean, what are we seeing out there in terms of weights and maybe, box beef numbers?
Actually, quite a bit of news in cattle out this morning. We already have a $2 higher cash trade in Kansas and Texas. We have $4 higher in Nebraska. And we have box beef up just over $1 choice and select. So a lot of positive news there. You are still seeing the futures up only slightly on that news. They're cautious. They're worried about the cattle weights that are going to come out here in a little bit. The weights have gone up the last 4 weeks in a row, when seasonally they should be going down each of those 4 weeks. So this is starting to add up.
Why do you think we're seeing the weights kind of increase so quickly?
There's 2 reasons there. Again, slaughter has slowed down in the last 2-3 weeks drastically. So you slow down slaughter, you're going to increase weights. Secondly, guys who are paying these high-priced feeders have decided that the best way to get the most money out of a feeder you've already bought at a high price is to feed them heavier. So you actually have 2 reasons at the same time adding the weights right now.
Okay, and then another report specifically for cattle tomorrow. We got cattle on feed.
Yes.
What are we looking at there?
Well, there's one where the placements are expected 106.4%. Now that number sounds very high, and 106% would be high. But there's a couple reasons why that number isn't going to be as bad as it seems. February being a leap year this year added an extra day to placements. Also, we saw at the end of January, we saw a weather issue that delayed some placements that should have been put in January. They got pushed in early February. So it's almost like adding 3 to 4 days of added placements. So that 106.4% number that looks big is not quite as bad as it seems.
Okay. All right. And the best part is those come out on Friday after the market closes, and you get all weekend to sit on it and see how they'll open up Monday morning.
Yep.
All right, Ryan. Well, thanks for sitting down with us. But before we end it here, we got a lot of March Madness going on, a lot of March Mayhem, as we'd say it here. What are your predictions? Who do you think is going to win this bracket this year?
Low odds, but I'm going to go with your shirt, Illinois.
I like it. All right, guys. Ryan, thank you for joining me today. Guys, check it out. We got some major reports next week. Give us a call, and let's see how we do here. Have a good one. Thank you.